Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here on a Monday morning. And Monday mornings mean lots of sports to talk about. We're going to get into our first show here, the MLB show. Lots of games happening every day. Going to start to become a major focus in what we talk about on the show here as we get into the second half. Not quite yet, but the second half of the MLB. First, want to again welcome our sponsor, CoolEyeCover.com. I don't know why I can't put those three words together. And a great sunglasses, which of course we need out in the watching baseball, whether you're watching your kids or watching out and watching the professionals do it. Eye cover is huge all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a pair for myself for golf and tennis. Really great pair. They're so light, I don't even feel them on my face, which I think is the awesome thing about it. Glasses can sometimes be annoying, but CoolEyeCover.com gives you an awesome selection of sunglasses for sports, or if you're just chilling with your family and friends, going to the beach, or just being outside this summer, as the warm weather has finally hit all of North America, which we're so happy about. Get yourself a cool pair, all different types of prices, all different kinds of styles. Check it out, CoolEyeCover.com, and protect those eyes this summer.
That leads us in great to the MLB, an outdoor sport, of course, which we love to play. Well, at least I did when I was a kid. You played when you were younger as well, but in the pro ranks, it's a whole different game, and lots of things happening every single day in the MLB, and this weekend was no different. The first one we're going to bring up is a First one we're going to bring up is a Canadian who's playing and has become quite a pitcher in the major leagues, playing for the Atlanta Braves, and this weekend showed again why we believe in the designated hitter for a lot of different reasons, but he took a 90-plus mile fastball on the inside of the arm. What is the point here?
Yeah, so first off, shout out to him. He's from Alberta, actually, and obviously having a great year. Awesome to see more Canadian. It's funny, more Canadians and more sports are now popping up other than hockey. I think it's because of the ability to travel now and the understanding of sending your kids to the States, I think from a younger age, and going to school and spend your winters there and stuff like that. So shout out to all the Canadian parents who are taking the risk of trying to get their Canadian athletes into professional sport. Obviously, it's tough for us to do it here, besides basketball and hockey, although even our basketball kids go to high schools typically in the States for the last couple of years of their high school career. So shout out to all those parents doing that. But anyways, yes, he's had a great career. Great year so far, and he was pitching amazing. He had a good start to the game. Gets dinged on the inside of his right arm, which is his throwing arm, with a 90-plus fastball. And even though the pitcher tried to say sorry afterwards, I don't believe it. Well, maybe it was, but I don't know. But I wouldn't accept the apology either, and the pitcher did not accept it because that put him out for the game. Who knows how long? I don't think it'll be long. It'll probably bruise, probably a couple weeks, maybe just a week. Miss one start as a starting pitcher. But yes, this leads into the greatest debate about baseball, and the most stupidest thing I've ever seen is having a same league with two different rules.
Yeah.
And the NL has no designated hitter and has the pitcher's bat. And it is the worst play and the most boring thing I've ever seen. And it just doesn't make any sense because you don't see it in any other sport. You don't see the NFC playing different rules than the AFC. I mean, that was way back in the 50s when they did that.
Yeah.
Come together. Figure it out. You play a World Series against each other. And then those pitchers on the AL have to learn how to bat for one series. It's the dumbest thing I've
And this is two pitchers hurt this week. One of the other best pitchers in the league.
Matt Scherzer was bunting practice and got a black eye and broke his nose. Again, why
are we doing
why
this?
Do you want
It
your
makes no sense.
Why do you want your pitchers doing this? Why do you want great players of the game, specifically pitchers who control a lot of the game, and teams need them to be up there batting? And by the way, they look so pathetic batting. They strike out, barely get any hits. It always causes the pitcher to come out sooner than later because they want to get a run in possibly. We hate it. We hate it, period. We just don't like it. And the AL has figured out with a DH, because a DH could be Big Papi. Now, do you want a big home run guy not playing because you want your pitcher up to bat?
Yeah, exactly.
Or forcing him to play first base? I wouldn't. I'd rather have him driving runs.
That's what he should be there for. And we've talked about this before. In fact, we have a further plan we'd love to see implemented is baseball and fall football.
Yeah, that's a long way.
Which is probably never going to happen. But why not have the best offense on the field and the best offense up at bat and the best defense on the field? I mean, why not like football? Why not have the best players playing what they do best so we can see the best of the best all the time? Would make for some exciting careers, would make for high-scoring games. Why not have that? What is this whole thing about guys having to be good both ways? There's a bunch of guys in the minors who may just be fantastic defensive players, can't hit their weight, and all of a sudden they're not playing. We don't get to see them play defense. So we've always talked about this, and it's just a chance to reiterate the fact that why can't we see a best offense, best defense? We know a sport that has over 100 years in history and heritage is not going to change like that, but we like to mention it every once in a while because it's a passion of ours that we just love to see that. But designated hitter is a given. It has to happen. We got multi-millions of dollars worth of pitchers that are risking their career, risking our team's career, our team's ability to be successful by standing at the bat, just trying to avoid getting hit themselves. And here we are this week with two guys who could have potentially been out for quite a while. Great pitchers that came back. And the Canadian kid who got hit yesterday thinks he'll only be out for one start. So, but why even go through that?
Yeah, I just really don't get it, and I think it hurts pitchers. It hurts teams. It really hurts trades, and I just don't understand it because no other sport does it. So I just be like, again, if you want to take up hockey now or basketball, the Eastern Conference plays different rules than Western Conference.
Yeah,
it would sound so silly. Yet the baseball's still doing it. So baseball's in for some changes though. It's not very popular anymore as it used to be. First of all, not a lot of Americans are even playing it anymore. And then you got weird rules. I think just hockey, basketball, football is just way more exciting for kids. So we'll see what happens going forward.
Well, and one of our other issues in baseball is the playoff system that's set up as well, where only so few teams get in. I mean, here we are with all the other leagues getting 16 teams in or somewhere around half of their league. This is what we as fans wait for. And we can talk from personal experience here because we're Blue Jay fans in Toronto, and they're already done. It's not even July yet, and they have no chance of making the playoffs. And this is what makes baseball demoralizing when it comes to those kinds of things, and rules need to change. At least we believe they need to change. One of those, again, is the playoff system. We have to expand this. This is what people wait for. This is what you watch for. You don't want to... the other day at a Blue Jay game, I think they barely had over 5,000 people in a 50,000-seat stadium because we're already done. Why are you going to go spend money to watch exhibition games?
And I can go out into every division and eliminate out of the 5 teams 3 of them. Right? Because you have to win your division or be a wild card team. And with the Boston Yankees in our division, not only in our division, but in that conference, they're going to take a divisional title and a wild card spot. And, right now, Tampa Bay looks like they're ahead of Boston right now, but you got to think Boston will come ahead and Tampa will fade. So there's 2 playoff spots taken. One of them's our division. One of them's the first wild card spot.
Yeah.
So then everyone else has to win their division or be the second wild card spot. So I can eliminate almost every team and pretty much pick who's going to make the playoffs. It's really too bad. It's really sad. It's too bad. And your teams get gutted every year. And we see it in Moneyball, but you see it in real life. I mean, every good team that doesn't have big budgets is going to get gutted as soon as they get good. It's just really too bad, and the playoff system is horrible. You play the longest season ever for the shortest playoffs ever. First, we got the one game, which has created a lot of excitement.
Yeah, but still, that's not making a playoffs.
No, that's not making playoffs. No, and the wildcard team, first of all, who could be the number 1 wildcard team, you have such a better record than the second wildcard team. Yet they get to play one game, like where you get to put out your ace starter, who might be really, really good on the team that's not as good, and you beat them. So that should be a 3-game series at the least. Why not make it 7 though? I just don't get it. It just makes no sense. Even their second series is 5 games. It's not even 7 games. But at hockey, let's play 82 games in 4 grueling 7-game playoff series. But in baseball, the softest sport, the sport where you play so many goddamn games, let's play the shortest playoffs. It just makes zero sense.
Yeah, and also again, we're not seeing the best out there. Excuse me. We're not seeing the best out there. And playoffs are cutting out teams. You can't have a run like St. Louis Blues did this year. Last place at mid-season, be able to get in the playoffs if you only had 6 teams making the playoffs. So it's a real critical. It's a real critical move in our mind, and it's why we struggle with the game of baseball. Not from the talent on the field, not from the games themselves, but just the certain things like the designated hitter and this playoff series. Like I say, where so many teams are out. We already know our team's out. I mean, what's there to cheer for with the Blue Jays? 15 games out at first place.
So many teams know that they're
ridiculous.
out. I mean, you got so many teams that know they're out. And really, like I said, every division is basically broken down into 2 teams. And if you're not one of those 2 teams. And there's just certain divisions that are tough. And the divisions that are tough, the second team's taking the wild card spot. So, you got the Dodgers division, they got the D-backs and the Rockies. One of them might take a spot. most likely will take a spot. It's just, you knew Milwaukee was going to be good. You just know these teams are going to be good. And you can't get one player to change that. You can't be like basketball. We were talking about this the other day. Basketball, the New Orleans Pelicans might be a playoff team. Like, they look insane all of a sudden. The NHL, New Jersey Devils, all of a sudden look like a playoff team. Baseball, it's not happening unless you're going to go spend a bunch of money on free agents. You're not drafting. And when you do draft, it takes forever. Then once they get good, they're going to go for the big contract to New York or Boston. Or the Dodgers, along those lines of teams. And it's just an unfair. You see in Moneyball, it's an unfair game. He says in the movie, we're saying it here, it's an unfair game, and they need to make changes. I know their bigger teams are doing well, and that's all they really care about. But come on, think of the little guy. We need to make changes. We need to get other teams in the playoffs. We need to expand this playoff season, expand the amount of teams in it. And even if you don't want big, long series, I would rather have almost half the league make it and do 3-game series if that's what you're worried about for whatever reason. I don't know why you would be, but I'd even take that.
Well, for sure, people want to watch playoff. You see it every sport. So many people watching during the regular season, the playoffs, it explodes. We get the fact that there would have to be some kind of revenue share of the teams that don't make the playoffs because you are reducing a regular season schedule by 20 games or whatever. But we need to see this in baseball, in our opinion. The game, I think it's embarrassing to watch games every weekend, every day, with not half empty stadiums, 3/4 empty stadiums, where the bad teams are just not drawing anybody.
You see the Cincinnati Reds, and
the Toronto Blue Jays. We see it every day right here. So you need more teams with a chance to get in the playoffs.
Imagine be Tampa, though. You can win and still get no fans.
Yeah, so it's really not an understanding. Most sports have made changes over the years to really include, try to build fan bases, and we just don't see that in baseball. But we do see a lot of skill in baseball, and that's one of the reasons people watch. We had one of the teams this weekend, I'm forgetting, you'll know this, have 3 rookies with walk-off home runs. That's what does make baseball exciting. You can be behind right up until the end of the game, and boom, big home run. You can come back from, it's tied, or you can come back from 2 runs down, whatever. One swing of the bat, and all of a sudden the game's tied,
real quick
or you
before
win.
I get into these 3 rookies that hit 3 straight walk-off home runs, they do benefit from the fact that, the Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, and the Dodgers are not only in their city, they're kind of North American-wide as popularity. Yeah. There's a lot of people here in Toronto, Canada, or Canada altogether that would cheer for the Red Sox or the Yankees. They got all that history. So they do benefit from the fact that, I guess, these teams have been good for so long, and they're known as the teams in baseball, that they do draw fans even from other cities and states and countries that, I guess they're doing okay. But anyways, let's move on. Yeah, the Dodgers played 3 great games against the Colorado Rockies, and 3 straight games, 3 rookies of the LA Dodgers hit walk-off home runs, 2 in the 9th, 1 in the 11th. Just incredible. And you're right, this is what baseball's about, but that's why I wish there was more playoff games. I'm not saying I hate everything about baseball, but imagine this in a playoff series or something like that. But even in the regular season, the big team out there in LA, obviously, talk about selling tickets, they can do that. It's supposed to be first place, playing against Colorado. Good team in their division. Yeah, it's a divisional, and they all had close games and 3 walk-offs. It was truly incredible to watch.
Yeah, it was, and even the other thing of baseball is bad teams can beat good teams. The Blue Jays did it this weekend, a sweep of Boston Red Sox. But we know long-term that that's not going to matter. In the standings, Red Sox are going to win enough games to be there, and it's really about who spends the most money almost every year. That's why the same teams are there all the time. I mean, with New York spending the money they do on salary, Boston spending the money they do, a lot of teams just can't do that and can't compete. We've seen other leagues like the NFL with a cap, and that cap ensures it stays the same. Other than the fact you got a great quarterback at Tom Brady, obviously from a Super Bowl perspective, but even that they haven't, they don't win them all every year, and they're not every single year has same teams competing against them in the playoffs. It's pretty balanced. Hockey's very balanced. All the number 1 seeds went out at the beginning of the playoffs this year, and we had a great playoff even with those guys gone. So lots of other opportunity. Baseball doesn't offer that. Almost same teams every year and pencil them in.
Yeah, but quick shout out again, like Dodgers, that's the first time actually in MLB history. Not many new things being done in baseball. That was one of them. And the runs actually, if I'm going to give any credit, the runs this year seem to have been going up. That's the one thing baseball has tried to do. Last year, I think they had a record amount of home runs. And this year, they continue with that. So at least they're doing there is parity that any week our team, like a bad team, can beat a good team. That's obviously cool. There's no consistency to it. You know who's going to make the playoffs. You're right about the money. But one thing they are doing at least is somehow they've been able to create more offense. I don't know how all of a sudden, except I think guys are building home run swings now. It's all about the long ball.
So they get the money. That's what
it's kind of like football when all offense and all passing. All of a sudden, hockey had to shrink equipment to get scoring up. One thing baseball's done is at least they've created a lot of scoring, which has created these exciting finishes to games. And you can get an exciting series like Toronto sweeping Boston. We know that's not going to last. So it's just it's just disappointing, I guess. It really at the end, it's just hard to get too excited about it. And in a summer where there's not a ton of sports going on, you wish baseball would provide something for you to watch every day. But when your team's just no good, when you know what's going to happen, when they play so many games, it's just too bad and unfortunate. But real quick here, the one exciting part is going to the All-Star break, which is coming soon in a couple weeks here. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will compete in the Home Run Derby. So maybe Toronto fans will get one night of excitement. He's going to be representing the Blue Jays there. And hopefully he has a good night and can maybe win the title. Yeah,
it would be exciting to see a kid who's so young be able to do that. So our last thing here on our first Monday of MLB is really when it comes down to it, what is with these players on bad teams? And this is just not in baseball, just happened in baseball. It happened to be our team that I was watching. And our pitcher is chirping the other team's bench because he struck them out. He's 4-9 on the season. Pretty good pitcher. I mean, Stroman's pitching well. The team's horrible. But you know what?
Stroman chirping?
Yeah, to the Boston bench when he struck them out at the end of the inning.
He's only 4-9?
Yeah, he's only 4-9. He's like 3-4 in a June, where his ERA is like a 3. So it's just obviously how bad the offense is. But here's a team, and the other day they were celebrating a home run, in the Boston series here. You're 20 games under 500. 20 games under 500. Play the game, win or lose, walk off the field in shame because you're so bad. Don't be cheering like you just, these are multi-million-dollar players. They're cheering because they got a walk-off home run, and they're 20 games under 500. They're poor fans, which includes us, are watching games or going to games. You know what? Don't cheer. It was another one like Moneyball where, Brad Pitt, which is the GM role, walks in and they're all having fun in the dressing room.
What are you having fun for?
Yeah, he says, what are we having fun for? And he says, this is what losing, or he told him to be quiet, sit down. This is what losing sounds like. Silence. Winning is when you're able to do those things. And I'm seeing this in baseball. You know what? If you're not good, work hard, do the best you can, take the wins you get, and don't be celebrating like a bunch of little kids because you happen to win one baseball game. This is ridiculous.
And I agree with you there. And I agree in other sports, maybe it's a little different because they can make a push to the playoffs. As we just talked about, the playoffs is more fair. So you might want to try to change something up. It's kind of like St. Louis. It's kind of like Carolina this year. They did celebrate to try to generate something because they knew in those types of sports you can do it. In baseball, Jays, who aren't making the playoffs, it is embarrassing. I'll say the Stroman thing is probably because he really wants to be traded. He knows he's a great pitcher, and he's probably tired of other people on good teams saying how he's not good yet. He is pitching obviously fantastic. I also think there's certain guys, they get a little juice in their system from it. He probably pitches better when he gets chirping. Who knows? Maybe he was asking for them to trade for him. Like, who knows? I don't know. But
we know he's on the trade block and
trying to do I can tell you, the Yankees and Red Sox, if they weren't in our division, the Jays would have traded him already. I guarantee you that. So it'll be interesting to see what's going forward. I actually hope he's been a good guy to Toronto. To be honest, he wants to stay here, but he's seen the long run is very, very dim, and I think we should trade him to a Boston or Yankees, give him a chance to win. But I do agree with you. I hate the celebrations, but at the same time, I also hate duds. I just wish it was more like yeah, good job, and not miserable, but not to the extent that it looks like we're winning a World Series, and we have no chance to make the playoffs. And this isn't generating a run to make the playoffs because you have no chance. I agree with you. I don't like it. I'd be okay if the coach went in afterwards and gave him a round of applause, congratulate, because they are young and you want to encourage them to keep doing great things. But on the field, in front of Boston, who just won the World Series, really?
Yeah,
really?
Who are you, right? And then he carried it forward, which is why every athlete should be off Twitter. But, Dennis Eckersley makes a comment about it, about exactly what we're talking about here. Stroman goes and posts pictures of Eckersley celebrating. Then he shows a picture of Roberto Alomar hitting the home run off Eckersley that won us, got us the World Series back in 92, 93. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're pitching on a horrible team in the middle of the regular season. You're chirping one of the best teams in the league and have been over the last number of years. And you're 20 games under 500. And your rebuttal to Eckersley saying this is a joke was to show pictures of him celebrating in the World Series. Not the regular season.
Well,
this was against the Blue Jays in the World Series. Just a second. Against the Blue Jays in the World Series. And then you're showing Alomar hitting a walk-off home run. This isn't in the middle of the season. He's comparing what he did to what Eckersley did in the World Series. Are you kidding me? Or the playoffs? I can't remember if it was World Series or the playoffs. What is wrong with these guys? That's not even a comparison.
Yeah, I mean, the real joke was obviously that, we hit a home run and we beat him is what he was trying to get at. I agree. I mean, but here's part of the problem, and I heard them talk about before going into this season, is these old guys kind of, I guess, trying to bring the young guys down. In other sports right now, basketball, hockey, football, they've embraced celebration, whether you're good or bad, and we are agree. If you're bad, you shouldn't do it. But I must say, what they've targeted is that fans like it. And at the end of the day, Stroman's very popular, and that they got to embrace, maybe not on the bad teams, but overall as a sport, they need to embrace celebration, they need to embrace bat flips, they need to embrace everything, because these old guys are bringing baseball down. I tell you what, NBA is fun to watch because of the showmanship of what they do. The NFL had to bring back celebrations. They tried to get rid of them, had to bring them back. And then you got hockey with the Carolina thing, and look what they were able to create by simply celebrating. I agree, if you're bad, you shouldn't really do it because you have no right. But the overall league should stop these old guys from chiming in and saying stop celebrating when they need to create celebration. They need to create good moments. They need to get young kids involved. Young kids see baseball as boring, long, and old. And they need to change that mentality of watching baseball and being at baseball games.
I don't totally disagree with you. However, I don't know. I'm just about watching teams that are so bad. It drives me crazy. And baseball brings it out because they're no chance to make the playoffs. And they're out there celebrating like kids. So we have a different point of view on that. Eckersley made an opinion in the game. Stroman compared it to something that wasn't even close to the same comparison. This wasn't 70 games in the regular season. It was in the playoffs. And then he's comparing his celebration comparable.
They lost to the Blue Jays.
So in the end of the day, I don't know, the whole game struck me a wrong chord there with what the Blue Jays were doing and the celebration and the chirping and everything. I guess if you're losers and you think that that's what you need to do, I don't know. That's why I can't be a fan of our team. I don't like to see that. I like to see champions celebrate. I like to see bums work harder to get better, which is what Eckersley was talking about.
Last point. He's old. I'm young. So there you go. You can easily tell right here. You don't need to go do research. An old guy's upset that the teams are having fun and celebrating, trying to get better and trying to motivate themselves, which every other sport has done in order to make their sport more exciting and get young kids involved. Young kids just need to be happy, need to see celebration, need to see fun, to want to go do it. If you do this boredom thing, Brooks Koepka is horrible at golf because he's boring. You can't be boring, whether you're good, bad, or whatever. Be fun, be exciting. Kids get involved in that. They click to it. Stroman's simply popular because he's a great player, but he's fun. He has cool style. He celebrates. He's fun. It's the way of the world. You want kids involved. Make it exciting. Make it fun. No matter who you are, that's how you get kids going. That's why basketball is succeeding right now. Hockey and football. They're all succeeding simply because they've told the old guys to go to hell. Allow these guys to have fun. It's a little ignorant, sure. Is it a little silly? Sure. But that's what kids are. That's what kids do. The most played stuff on YouTube is celebrations, period. So, he's old, I'm young, I get it, guys. Do what you gotta do.
Well, I'm not gonna totally disagree with you, but I'm sick of having played many sports in my life. I don't know. You get to celebrate because you're good. That's what you get to celebrate for. I think the teams that are good, go ahead and celebrate all you want. Teams that are bad, work harder. Get better. Start to win for your fans. You guys are all making millions of dollars. Even the crap that the Blue Jays put on the field. These guys make millions of dollars every year to play the game of baseball. You get better. You work harder. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
There was a time...
Not like put your hands up because you hit one home run.
There was a time
and you're 20 games
when
behind.
Carolina wasn't very good, and they started celebrations and went on a run to make the playoffs. The Jays, I don't think they could, but the Jays could start doing that, and you're not embracing it.
They can't
because you're old.
They can't do it because of the playoff system, but in addition to that, Carolina started doing it only after wins, not during the game, after the game. So it was up to the fans if they wanted to stay and watch that. The other team was off the ice at the time. That's a different celebration than what we're talking about here. We're going to disagree on this one for
Fuel
sure.
the fire. Fuel
We're
the
going to
fire.
disagree on this one for sure. I don't like it.
Keep driving
I think
the fuel
these
on it.
bad teams and these bad players just need to work harder instead of thinking, oh, I hit a home run, so I'm going to celebrate like a little tiny kid. It doesn't work for me. And as far as I'm concerned, we need to see these guys
Times are changing.
get better. And you want times are changing because people celebrate over nothing. That's your culture today. And what used to be is you worked hard, you got better, and then you got to celebrate. So we're gonna end this on different sides of this particular equation. Anyway, we're gonna be back with the MLB every day. We look forward to reporting on the games and what's happening within the game. So we hope you enjoy that. We look forward to feedback anytime you want to deliver it to us. That's fantastic, and we'll chat soon.